This video looks at response 2, which is a really good option if you want to take in student feedback or do some sort of a quiz, but you want an anonymized element to it. So here I am, I'm starting the activity with my class, and here I'm showing you the screen that the student would see. So the student has gone to classlab.com and they've put in the number that I had up on the screen there, and then these are the questions that are coming up and they are just typing in their answers. So it's just feedback from a training session that I used this for. So I quite like the way the student works their way through the questions, putting them in, and then at the end they can see all the questions there were and they can sign out, and they could be doing this on their mobile phone or with a tablet or with a computer. So whilst that's running, this is what we're seeing as a whole class on the board up on the big smart board. So you've just got this circle racetrack in the middle, and then it'll slowly notch up the percentages as more and more people submit their answers, but we're not actually seeing who has submitted what answer. So I think maybe a much better tool, for lecturers and teachers to use than perhaps Shout It Out, which is going to have people's names on and it's going to be instantly obvious who has written what. So as this session goes along, you'll just slowly increase up the percentage of questions answered, and then you as the lecturer teacher, you can just bring the session to an end by clicking that little end button that's just under activity running. Clicking end will bring up the answers to the first question, but you could disconnect your laptop at this point. If you didn't want to, then you would maybe need to think about what the first question is. So just there, what I did was I clicked on export results, and I'm going to explain a little later what you can do with that file. So this is me just scrolling through the answers that the training session gave me, and you can see that they come up kind of quite clear on the board and they are anonymized. So if I go back into my laptop, we can find the file that I just downloaded there, which was my export results. So it'll just be titled feedback survey and the date that you did the survey on, and it'll come in as an Excel file. And I think that this is really useful if you're using this to collect evidence, because you've got the students' names down one side, you've got whether they were correct or incorrect, and then if it was a typed response like mine were, then you have the answers as well. And I think it's laid out really well and it's quite clear for you to see. So let's have a look in the editing function up here on the right and see how I set this up. So at the top of the page, you've got all the choices that response 2 gives you, and you have quite a range. So I used short answer questions, which allowed the people at my training session to type a sentence in, but you also have multiple answer, you have multiple choice, there's also polling and opinion, you can also look for true and false questions. So there's quite a variety of questions. You can also incorporate a picture into your question, and some of your answers can have pictures in them as well. So you can have quite a bit of variety just within this one feature. So once you've decided what you want the question type to be, and you've typed in what kind of question you want to ask and whether it's open or not, you just move to finish. You see the full list of all of the questions. What I quite like is you can put a title for the entire questionnaire in and some instructions of what you want the students to do. So I think that that's really helpful, which isn't there in Shout It Out in quite the same way. So I think that this is a slightly more useful feature. So once you've settled on all of your elements, you just click finish, and then that is your response 2 ready to go, and you'll just need to remember to click start.